Do you realize that every single trouble around the world, the troubles that America and the British have played a role in the downfall and the destruction of many places around the world? I just was thinking of the turmoil and the historical things that have been done around the world, where there's countries and places around the world that are still damaged because we wanted to involve ourselves into something. And as it says that all you touch turns to gold, or whatever the saying is, but for unfortunately the things that we have meddled in, we have left a mess in some kind of way around the world. And then you wonder why America is disliked in many places across the world. You wonder why the British are disliked in many places around the world. I mean, look at some of these countries in 2021. Look at some of these places. I was thinking of this Haiti. I mean, I don't know if you've seen some of the videos of this. I mean, first off, to where they, many months back there, where a president can be assassinated in this type of time, and just just the poor, desolate, the way it looks, people walking down the streets with burning cars, people just, in other countries where women are just degraded and all of these things. But we've meddled. We've gotten ourselves involved with so many different things, but yet we always want to act like we are the self-righteous ones. The church acts like we're the self-righteous ones. There is plenty of groups out there that is trying to make a difference around the world. But overall, America's sins is come back to haunt us. And this is why I've been saying God's judgment is upon America right now. It ain't about, there's no human being that's going to come and save America right now. You can set up and pray all you want for some human. Because the thing about humans, we're flawed. We all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We are flawed beings, and there's no human that can come and save and get things right in America. And there's no voting that can do it. There's nothing. Only the Spirit of God can touch and change things around. I was just thinking, I had a discussion there with my wife there, where I had asked her, I said, I don't know, in some of these countries where it's been decimated for a long time and what's been going on, like for example, Haiti, like what could be done to make that place right, to where gangs don't have to resort to kidnappings and trying to get monies and stuff, because the way the country has been left in turmoil for decades and decades and decades, and other places around the world like that. What could you actually do to get it to have a legitimate government, legitimate everything, and people feel good about themselves and people are out of poverty? What can happen? And then I look at right here in America, look what we do to our own that are less fortunate, our own that are not doing well. We mistreat the people that set up and struggle. We set up and we'll sit there and say that, you make $30,000 or $40,000 a year or $50,000, and you got these debates, but then you live in places like California or New York where you can't even rent places with salaries like that without going under. And then when you set up there and you have plenty, single mothers, and then laws are not enacted the way they are, and then they're struggling, and then they may make $11 an hour, but then the government won't even provide them with WIC, which is the program that provides milk and stuff for the child, for a baby, to help supplement, to help them to do things. We want to set up and we mistreat the people. We mistreat the homeless. We mistreat those that are less fortunate. In the church, when people come into the church and don't live up to your standards, some of these churches, you come in, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, where do you come from? Oh, what do you got on? What are you doing? And all of this, and then you push them away. You have some churches, I've seen it, where people come in and they want to get involved, and oh no, they got cliques within the church, and they don't want people to be involved and get involved with them, and all of this stuff. And then you got media outlets and all kinds of stuff that continue to push the hate amongst the things, and they don't want certain things, and they talk crazy. And I was just looked at about a week ago, there's some David Barton or something, some right-wing pastor talking about the people in the South, they were professing Christians, and they mean well and meant well and everything, but the reason why slavery happened is because they just didn't read their Bibles back then, but they didn't know. And this is this wild craziness. So you've got these radicals that are all spread out everywhere. They're all throughout. People that are on their high horses they basically don't care about those of us that are, the middle class or those below the middle class. They don't care. The rich, the well-to-do. They don't care. They figure you better figure it out some kind of way. When they have been blessed with generational wealth from passed on and business to business, you got all these people out here struggling. And you call yourself a Christian. Call yourself the great nation. And America is great. But the sins the sins are fuming from the grounds up. With all the things we've done, and God is angry, and he is not finished yet. That's one thing. He is not finished. You think it's bad. There's so many people, their hearts are so hardened, and God is going to crack you and break you eventually. It's going to happen. He's angry. He's going to break you. You think you so tough. You've been spreading all that hate. You've been doing all of these things of misleading God's people. He's going to break you. There's a time you don't play with God, because God knows how to break you. If he can break Pharaoh, he'll break you. And that's what we'll continue to do in this channel. We'll continue to talk about these issues that the church run away from. Because right now, America's in big trouble because the church is in trouble. Church hasn't been doing what they're supposed to do. Christians haven't been doing what they're supposed to do. We set up. And everyone talk about, well, why can't we come together? This and that, all of this stuff. And people want you to come together on lies and falsehoods and all of this stuff. I'm not linking up with somebody that's lying and their theology is way off base. I'm not linking up with somebody that tells me that if I don't speak in tongues, then I'm damned for hell. I'm not linking up with somebody that tells me, well, if you don't worship the Sabbath on a Saturday, then you're damned for hell. I'm not linking up with no. I'm linking up on the blood of Jesus Christ and what he's done for me. And I'm linking up on putting my faith in him. And I'm not putting my faith in no man. I put my faith in him. And that's what you should do as well. We'll continue to call it out. We'll continue to put Satan right in between them chops. Maurice Braxton, Evangelism for God's the channel. And we'll continue to give God the glory. Hit like if you like the video. If you're new, consider subscribing, coming along for the journey. And into the next videos, my friends. Take care. God bless.